So boys and girls, today you're going to have a sheet of paper with some donuts on it. And if you look at pictures of real glazed donuts, you'll see that basically they always put on colored frosting and add a whole lot of fabulous toppings. And if you look here, you can see that there is a shadow to the right of the donut. It's because the light is actually coming from the left and it's creating a shadow inside of the donut. And it's actually making those little lines of white to add shine, and then the shadow is on the right hand side. So we're going to do the same thing. You're either going to be using a black crayon or a black oil pastel. The oil pastel does smear a little, so you'll kind of have to watch it. And you are just going to make a half circle going around the right hand side of your donut, and you are going to be creating a line that's going to give the illusion of a shadow. And you're going to go ahead and do that to every single donut on your paper. You're going to be doing it to the right of every single one. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the... You get it. Okay. So here I go, bopping around my whole page. Some of you have donuts that are coming off, about halfway off the page. You'll figure it out. If you can't quite figure it out, I can help you out. Then we have to do the shadow that's on the inside, and that's going to be on the inside, but on the left. To the left, to the left. Yeah, you get that too. So I'm just going to bop around here and take care of all my donuts. I've done a shadow around the right-hand side, on the outside, and around the left-hand side, on the inside. Once you've got that finished, it's time to get your paper set up just like this. You're going to take those two black oil pastels and put it away. And you're going to first get a paintbrush. If you look here, there are 3 different paintbrushes. One's kind of big, one is for detail, and one is kind of squared off. You're going to set it up like this, and then we are going to put some paint on your wax paper. If you don't have it set up, you don't get paint. So you'll need a paper towel, your paintbrush, and a wax piece of paper for the paint. Now the first thing that you're going to do once you have that set up with the paper towel, the paintbrush, and the wax paper, we will put the white paint on your wax paper, and there will already be a tray there all set up with beautiful colors for you to use as frosting. Now, instead of kind of treating this tray like you're at a football game and you're like, let's go in! But instead, I would like for you to pretend kind of like you're at a tea party, and you are just going to delicately dip it into the paint and use it. You should hardly even, anyone else at your table should hardly even be able to tell that you were there. You're just going to pick a little bit up, and then you're going to put it on your donut. Now, when people put frosting on donuts, if it were me, I would cover up every last square inch of it, but they usually just kind of put it on part of the donut. So you're going to keep dipping into the color that you need to color in the top of your donut with your frosting. Now when I showed you that green donut, I showed you that we could see the light that was kind of reflecting onto the frosting. So the way that you're going to do that is you're going to take this same brush that has the paint on it, and you are just going to dip a baby toe, just like the tiniest toe on there, and you're going to dip it into the lake of white. You're just going to go, just like that. Just the tiniest bit of white on there. And you will then come and just kind of blend that into your color to add a little bit of shine. Now, if you're like, oh, I like it, but I think I want a little bit more, you dip your little baby toe into the lake of white acrylic paint, and you come back. You are not going to stir, because you're just going to end up with pink instead of a nice little thing of white. So I just came there and I just swirl it around, and just like that, it almost looks real. It looks like I've got some awesome frosting going on there. So this is what happens next. You are going to take that brush and you are going to dip it into the water well. When you pull it out, you want to get some of the water off of it, but you are not going to tap and spray water on everyone. Just kind of brush it off on the side. And then you're going to take your paper towel and you're going to dry it off. You're not going to put it into the paint with a wet brush because you're just going to make paint soup all over the tray. Instead, you put it on your paper towel, you're going to pinch it off so that it's nice and dry, and then you can go on your merry way. So from here, you're just going to be watching me for here a little bit, just choosing different colors, figuring out what color I want next, putting it on there, dipping it in the white, adding a little shine. You don't always have to cover the whole thing. You can do kind of a wavy line around the outside. You're just going to cover it all with frosting. Now, after you're finished with that, you can switch it out for a thin brush, maybe a detail brush, and you can go and add sprinkles. You would basically have cleaned off your bigger brush and put it bristle side up in the little container for someone else to use. You're going to take a detail brush and you just dip it in, and you can just very, very lightly add sprinkles. Your sprinkles don't always have to be white. If you look at some of the examples, you'll see there's lots of different colors, so you can add pink, red, green, whatever you want to do. And when you're finished with that, another option that you have other than using the detail brush is that, with the detail brush, you could do frosting kind of like this, where you make it look like it's been drizzled on there. Or you can also use that bigger brush that has the red shaft on there, and that's kind of a squared off one. If you just pull it, it's going to make almost like a, to say a rounded square is a little weird, but you get what I mean, to make some bigger things like that. If you want them to look shiny, you dip it into whatever color you want, put your baby toe into the white at the same time so that you have both brown and white. And then when you put it on, you're going to see that the white mixes ever so slightly with the brown and will make it look kind of shiny, which is a cool effect too. When you're completely finished with putting on your sprinkles and everything, you can even at your desk be putting on kind of wider bits of frosting. You can come back here where I'm going to be having these bottles that have paint in them, where you can squeeze out a very fine detail of frosting. These bottles have a metal tip, and this metal tip loves to get clogged, and it is almost impossible to unclog it. It is such a pain, which is why, because it has a metal tip, I put this safety pin right in here, which keeps it from clogging. If you take this out, use it, and leave it there, this is going to get clogged probably before the next person even has to use it. You cannot go speed demoning through this section. You take out the safety pin, you use it, and then you put the pin back in. And just so that everyone can see what's available, I have it all in trays with the different colors. Please return it to the tray so that people can find the color of their choice. So if you were to decide that you wanted to add some glaze to this, you would take the pin out, and then you're going to squeeze slowly so that it doesn't go all over. You're going to touch the metal here. You're not going to hold it above and let it drip. You squeeze slowly until you start to see it, and then you can just come and you draw with it. I don't want for you to empty the whole bottle just in one sitting while you're working there, because there's a lot of people yet to come. So please make sure that when you squeeze, it's not like you're with a ketchup bottle just going like that all over the place. I put the safety pin back in. I'm now ready to go. I also have some paints that have a bigger hole in the top. For that, you'll take the plastic cover off, and you just have to be a little bit careful when you come to use this one, that again, you are being careful. You have it right against here, and you're going like this, but you're careful to not squeeze out the whole paint thing on top. Once you're finished, we're gonna have to carefully get this into the drying rack so that it doesn't get smeared, and it's gonna be awesome. Have fun.